Okay. Uh, I'm so sorry, guys. The network is something tonight, but I've tried to switch to another network, and we hope that this new one will work very well. So you guys should join back, please. Let's start afresh. I hope they have the link to this new one. Mm, okay, we'll do this. Okay. Mhm. I hope you guys can see. Right, let me share it. Probably it should get better now. The the with what is a library? That is the first question. What is a library? So I'll still start. I'll ask that question again in this video. So let's open the floor with that. What is a library? And then see if you guys are okay with the definition already. If you know it already, because what we have tonight is types of library. But before we move to that, it's only good we refresh our brains and remind ourselves what we did in the previous class, which is the definition of a library. So I'm waiting patiently for you guys. What is a library? Let's have it in before we move to tonight. Our concern tonight is types of libraries that we have. That is part of the material we want to digest tonight. But before then, I want to hear from you guys. The library. Do I have people here already? It seems the network issue tonight is a general one because okay, I think this is Fatima also. A library is a place where people can borrow, read, or study books and other materials. Okay, your definition is not bad, but that is according to your own understanding, not what the material says about a library. We've been through it before. I only want I want to refresh your memory. That is why I have to ask you. But this your definition is not bad, but it's not the standard one that is in the material. So you to tell me the definition of a library based on the one we use. So who is giving us that? Who is giving us the definition of a library according to the material? Patiently waiting for you. It seems that the network is a general thing tonight. I don't think it's only limited to myself here alone. It's like Network is generally poor tonight. A library is an organized collection of resources made accessible for a defined community for reference or borrowing. Thank you, Francis. That is the thing we are looking for. That is the main definition we are looking for. Okay, one last thing. What is a library collection? A library collection, what does it contain? Give examples of things that makes up the library's collection. So that is the second question, and then we move to what we have today. The second question says, give examples of the things that makes up the library collection. Give example of the things that makes up the library collection. Well, do I have people here tonight? Whether this network likes it or not, we will do this class. Do we have people here? Libraries collection, yes. What are the things you can find in the library based on what we did in the last class? Okay, rich movies. We have books, we have manuscripts, microform, ebooks, and so on and so forth. All right, thank you. This person saying yes, yes. I hope this person know what I am asking. Okay, so let's move to what we have tonight, guys. Types of libraries. You know, you've been entering libraries. We've learned about the meaning of library in the last class. We've talked about the collections, libraries collections. We've talked about brief history of the library when we talk about liber, which means book, library in French, and so on and so forth. But why do we have different types of libraries? If I enter a school now, I will see a library. When I go to a university, I will see a library. When I go to some special places, I'll see that we have libraries. Even in some people's room, there are libraries there. So all these kind of libraries that we can see around us, the different forms of libraries that we see around us, how do we classify them? Does that mean that we have different types of libraries? Yes, we have different types of libraries. So let's study them. The first type of library we'll be talking about tonight is the academic library. The academic libraries. And I want you to open your mind because there is this popular confusion that students do entertain between academic libraries and school libraries. There is a very big distinction between the two. So don't get it confused. Don't get it mixed up. Don't get it mixed up. We have a huge difference between academic libraries and school libraries. So open your mind as we go through the academic libraries. These are libraries of academic institutions such as universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. So higher institutions, the libraries you find in them, they are called or they are referred to as academic libraries. They are referred to as academic libraries. The type of libraries, like in your school now, in National Open University of Nigeria, when you go to your study center to collect maybe course material or whatever, you see a part of your study center labeled library. That type of library is called academic library. So the library we have in our school is an academic library. When you go to Unilag, the library in the Unilag is an academic library. When you go to Uniport, the library you see in Uniport is an academic library. When you go to a college of education, the library in that place is known as academic library. Any library situated, run, and maintained by an institution like a higher institution like university, polytechnic, colleges of education, we call them academic library. That is what you should know about academic library. Very simple. The moment you hear academic, let your mind go to universities, polytechnics, and what colleges of education, institutions in essence. The purpose of establishing these libraries is to meet the information needs of staff and students in the institutions they belong to. This is the one they usually ask you in TMA and exam, that Dash Library was established to meet the academic needs of staffs and students of the institution they belong to. What kind of library is that? So you should know that those are academic libraries. Let me give us an icebreaker. So that is an icebreaker there. The purpose of establishing these libraries is to meet the information needs of staff and students in the institutions they belong to. What type of library is that? Academic library. So the library is the heart of these institutions since all they do revolve around books. Basically, this library support all academic programs offered in the institutions. What they are trying to say is that when you go to the library in National Open University of Nigeria, let's say Lagos Study Center, ordinarily you are meant to see books on Faculty of Art, books on Faculty of Science, books on Faculty of Computing, books on Faculty of Social Science, books on Faculty of Health Science, and all the faculties we have. There should be books, resources on all the faculties that the school, or sorry, the institution is operating on. So that makes academic library the heart of any institution they belongs to, because they serve randomly every department in that institution. So it will not make sense for an art student to enter the library in Lagos Study Center and they say that we don't have books on art. It's only science book we have here. No, 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 no. That is not an academic library. It must serve the information need of all students and staff of that institution. And then all the programs that institution is running, is offering, there must be resources on them in the academic library. So now you know what academic library is. When you hear the word academic library, straight your mind goes to institutions like your own, like National Open University of Nigeria. So let's move on and see the function of academic libraries. What function do they serve in the school? Don't confuse it with school library. When we get to school library, ones are institutions. You belong to an institution as a student of non institution. We can't primarily call it a school. So, what are the functions of academic libraries? Having known the meaning of library, that they are library that belongs to institutions such as universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. And the main purpose of establishing them in those institutions is to serve the information need of the staff and students of the institution they belong to. So what are their functions? Number one, the function of academic library, number one, they provide research information resources in line with the needs of the staff and students. Research information resources. Now, when some of you get to uh, your 400 level, when you will need to write your final year project, you will be doing a lot of extensive reading on researches. You make a lot of research, you need a lot of materials and resources. The library is there for you. There are a lot of books. For instance, if you decide now, let's assume our class captain, let's say Omoyasuna or maybe Grace, or maybe Amin decide to write their final year project on a topic that says the effect of mobile phones on maybe Gen Z, let me just say like that. Excuse me, the effect of mobile phones on Gen Z uh, students, or on this generation student, or on, let's even say, on secondary school students. Okay, let's make it a formal topic. The effect of the use of mobile phone among secondary school students. So that is your topic. In the library, you will see different resources that have talked about both advantages, both the advantages and the disadvantages on youth generally. If you read that, you will get ideas from it. You will see some that have talked about poor performance among secondary school students, a case study of the effect of mobile phone. That one looks like what you are writing about. If you read it, you get ideas. So what are you doing? You are making research on available resources, literature research on available resources on the topic you are developing. So the library serves as a point of information resource that helps you, to have proper knowledge of the topic you are writing on. So the first thing academic library does is it provides research information, resources that are in line with the needs of the staff and students. Let's not forget that. So when you need to make any research now, the school library is there. I know some of you, till you will graduate in school, you will never visit the library. I know some of you like that. But there are some students that are making proper use of the library. You will see that sometimes when you go to school to pay school fees to do this, you see that there are some students in the library. They don't have two heads. You are meant to use the library too. Okay, somebody said he's not hearing anything. That should be from your side. Please, maybe you should turn on your volume. Turn up your volume rather. So that is number one. They provide research information resources in line with the needs of the staff and students. Number two is that provision of information materials as required for the academic programs of the parent institutions. What this means is that in the library, you can get your course material, provision of materials as required for the academic program. So somebody that is doing BSc mass communication now, like you can see that, like centers like Lagos Study Centers, they've done it in the way that they will say on Monday, Faculty of Science, they should come for material. On Tuesday, Faculty of Social Science. On Wednesday, Faculty of Art, and so on and so forth. That is because the library is meant to provide the resources, the materials that you need for your program. The third one is provision of information resources for recreation and for personal self-development of users. Provision of information resources that are meant for recreation. Maybe you are bored. Say, let me go and read a novel. Let me go and read a book. You understand? Or some your friends have started they started insulting you. You don't know how to address people in the public. You don't know how to talk in the public. Then you just say, it's like this one that everybody kept accusing me of this thing. It seems I'm poor in this thing. Then you go to the library, start looking for books on uh public speech, or how to act in properly in the public. You just look for books that seems to align with that thing you are looking for, and then you start reading it to develop yourself personally, self-development. So the library is also there for that. The provision of specialized information services to appropriate sections of the larger community is also part of the work of academic library. The fifth one say cooperation with other libraries at appropriate level of improved and better information services. There are some times that you will need some resources that are not available in your, like there's some materials that are specialized that you can only find them in particular library. Like that we have a library now that deals with only agriculture. So if you need a material that is not found in non-library and you need it sincerely for maybe your project or anything, then none will provide you with a written letter, a letter of request. Or we'll get there in this Gst104. You will know that kind of letter. You know what it contains and how to use it. So once they issue it to you, you take it to, is a kind of reference letter that you take it to the library that offers that type of material or resources. But you can't just go on your own as an individual. You need to be referred to them, referral. So it has to be from the school. That is, they have to cooperate with other libraries so that they will provide other resources that you need for your improvement, or sorry, for your project, which your school, your academic library, the one in your institution, is not able to provide. And lastly, provision of conducive reading environment and facilities. Of course, when you get to the library in your center, you find out that it's a serene environment. You will not see a library that will not put one big TV that will be making noise. No. In fact, those there are some centers like Ibadan Center, like the ones in Abuja there, you would have seen rules written, large ones, in large in bold text. Don't do this in the library, do not do this in the library, do not do this in the library. So those are, so far so good. We've talked about the meaning of academic libraries, and then the functions of academic libraries. May I ask you guys some questions as a form of icebreaker? We've talked about 6 functions of academic library. Now let's see if you guys have been following. Yes, let's attempt these questions one by one. So yes, that is question one. Question one, question one, question one. I will have question two with you guys very soon. Everybody online should contribute. This course is a general course, whether you are doing nursing or you are doing chemistry or you are doing social science or anything, you will do just 104. So I'm dropping those questions just to help us see if you guys have been following the functions that we have been talking about. So this is an icebreaker. Let's hear from you guys. Those online should contribute. Have the habit of always contributing to chat. Okay, for you guys now to take the floor. Let's hear from you guys. Okay, so that is nice. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to finish that. Then we'll move on to the next type of library. I'll give you 2 minutes to do that. Then we'll move to the next type of library. We'll move to the next type of library that we have. Okay, you guys are hot. That is making sense. It's making sense. Okay, I think we are good to go into the next type of library. Now, the next type of library we have is the research library, which is also as special library. The research library, which is also known as special library. So you should know that it is research library that is also known as special libraries. So let's read about it. What type of library is it? First of all, from hearing the word research, something will be ringing in your mind what this type of library is likely meant for. And then the fact that there is special there too. So research can be used interchangeably with special. So they are purposely established to cater for patrons with special and specific interest. What we are saying is that research or special libraries are purposely established to cater for patrons with special and specific interests. Now, special libraries serve an identified group of users with common special interests. They are privately owned and funded by the organization that established them. The resources of special libraries cover only particular subject or group of subjects. Their subject area is usually defined from onset. Information supplied by these libraries to their patrons is usually comprehensive and up to date, mainly for research. Their unique collection emphasize on primary sources of information like journal articles, research reports, conference proceedings, and periodicals. Don't worry, I will explain. I will explain. We are just reading for now. I want you to digest the reading first, then we will explain what we're talking about. So we have up-to-date books and electronic materials are also found in research libraries. Example of special library: National Institute of Tropical Agriculture (IITA) Library, Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research (NISER), CREAN, that one is even in Ibadan, Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization (CBAC). Now, one thing you should let's try to create a clear picture of research or special libraries. The first thing you should know about them is that they are privately owned. It is an organization that will just decide to open that type of library. They are the one that will fund it from their hands, from their pocket. It's a private type of library, not like something belonging to an institution. You understand? You know that academic library may be private or government owned, depending on the type of institution that you go to. But for research or special libraries, they are mainly private libraries. Like, and then another thing you should know about them is that their focus is narrow. This library is only about agriculture. So any research book that you can think of, if they release a research book today about agriculture, that library would have updated it. They would have gotten it and put it in their library. So anything you want to know about agriculture, if you go to that library, you will see it. All the journals, all the materials that anybody has ever written about agriculture, you will find them there in that library. Okay, this library is only for medical science. Medical science. If you go to that library, everything that concerns medicine and the field of medicine, you will find them there. So that is the meaning of special library. They are special. They are kind of, they limit themselves to a particular field, a particular group, or some groups. Like some of them may combine medicine and agriculture. You understand? So when you go there, you are likely going to see anything on medicine or anything on agriculture. But they are not, mostly they don't really combine so much. Most of them are individual library, like they belong to just one field. If this one is agriculture, then anything on agriculture, you will find it there. We have quite a lot of them, and then we have examples of those type of libraries. That's why they say that you will find up-to-date books in those type of library, research libraries. You will find up-to-date books there, because our focus is only on, uh, let me say for instance, our focus is only on medicine. Then if anybody should write a book on medicine today, we will get it, because this is a library that is dealing with only medicine. And let's look at examples that we have. We have the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IICA. From the name sef, and most of dis research library, their name go carry what they are doing. You don't even need to stress it, what is dis one is all about, or what will I find in dis one. If you check their name, you find out that most of them, in their names, you find what they are all about. All of you are just writing journal articles. I expect you to list all the primary sources of information we have, all of them that were listed in the book, not just the journal articles. They mentioned quite a lot of them, like research report, conference proceedings, and periodicals. Because exam is very funny. What they will do in the exam is probably list two or three of them and remove one, and ask you to add the one they removed. You guys should know, you know how the exam goes by now. So yes, that is IITA. That one deals with agriculture. We have Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research. So from the name, most of those research libraries, their names will tell you the type of information you can get in their place. The name, the words that makes up their names will tell you what they are all about. Look at Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, CRIN. Now, this Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, even if I don't know what I'm likely going to meet there, the fact that I saw cocoa in the name of the library, I should know what I'm likely going to meet there. So yes, the primary sources, we have journal, we have research reports, and so on and so forth. We have periodicals and conference proceedings. The reason why I asked you that question is that they usually ask it in TMA. I'm sure of that one. It usually come out in TMA, so we don't know what will happen this semester. So you guys should engage. Let's try our best. The full meaning of those abbreviations before we move to the functions and services offered by research or special libraries. Don't forget, we said it is research libraries that are also called special libraries. So it's the same thing, one and same thing. You either call it research libraries or special libraries, and they serve just a small group, just one area. They only cover one subject area or group of subjects. Some of them will combine subjects together, but mostly they cover just one subject area. Now, what are their functions? The first function of research or special libraries is that the functions and resources of the library must be in line with the primary objectives of the parent body of the library. What they are trying to say is that right from the time they want to open that library, they already have a focus, an objective that they want to focus on, that this is what this library is going to be about, agriculture, for instance. So the function that it will serve and the resources it's going to provide will be in line with that objective. This is an agriculture library. Then I should know that as an agriculture library, I will serve people on materials that deals with agriculture. That's what we're trying to say. So we also have provision of in-house training or training activities to new users and staff members alike. What this means is that since they are types of libraries that focus mainly on one subject area or probably just some groups of subjects, when new user come in, maybe to register or just for a period of research. Mostly those type of libraries, you visit them for a period of time when you are doing a particular research. So you visit them over time. Once your research is done, bye bye. You will not likely need them again. So that is the way the type of library operates. It's not like your school library that you have to romance with for 4 years, depending on the course you are doing anyway. So this one, maybe you have a research you are doing for just 6 months. Within that 6 months, you likely become a friend of that library. And after you are done with your research, bye bye. So provision of in-house training activities to new users and staff members alike. Well, it also provide and produce bibliographies. It That is provision and production of bibliographies. Uh, I think those of you that attended the first class, you've seen this word before. These bibliographies, you've seen it before in ancient time, like when we're talking about the history of libraries. Okay, let me give you a kind of, is this one a teaser now or a classwork? So let's look for it. What does this word mean? Look for it. When we say that special libraries provide and they produce bibliographies, what are we talking about? Now, provision of current awareness services, CAS, to the library client list. The client list, those are the clientees. A space must be allocated for current awareness service or services in the library for the exhibition of newly published materials. Now, from the name alone, if you don't know what the meaning of CAS means, but once you hear the name current awareness, what that means is, Sadiq Mariam, look for the meaning of bibliographies. Don't tell me library. I know where you are coming from. You are coming from our last class, but look for the meaning now. Let's see, what does it mean? So from the name of what is it called? CAS, which is current awareness service. For okay, now let's assume you are writing a book genetics, on genetics, human genetics or animal genetics. Then you've been, you know, going to the library time to time, to the special library time to time to get resources and update your research. There is a part of that library called the current awareness service section or department. It's a part that every newly published book, it's just like they're doing exhibition, like they're showing you, this is a new book, oh, this is a new book on this your topic, oh, a new book has come out, oh, you understand? They show you the latest and current books that just came in. That is the part where you can see the latest releases that are in town. So it's a current awareness service. So we soon get to personalized service, the one that they will tell you personally as an individual, this your project you are doing, here is a new book on it. That one is personalized service. We get there. Let's leave that one for now. But current awareness service is the one that is a kind of book exhibition. Exhibits, these are the new ones, the hot guys we have in town, the hot guys that just came in last night, the hot guys that just came in 2 days ago. So that is the part of current awareness service. It informs you that these are new books that just came in. Okay, a bibliography is simply a systematic list of all the books, articles, websites, and other sources that someone used when researching a topic. Thank you. God bless you. Sadiq Miriam, that is the one I'm looking for, not that it means a library. I know that from your course material, when we're talking about the ancient time, we mentioned it that it actually means a library. But what is the meaning of the word now in English? So that is what you just given us. Thank you. So what other thing or what other function does the research or special library serve? They serve the provision of literature search. Those of you that have written the project before, you know what we're talking about. Literature search. You do this a lot when you are writing your final year project. Has been written on, oh sorry, has been writing on, what am I saying? Has been writing on. So last night, or let's say yesterday, the library brought in 5 new books on human genetics. Why those books will be shown on the current awareness services, that one is a general this thing, a general space, that these books are new. So anybody that enters the library can see the books displayed in the CAS, that is in current awareness service area. You understand? That one is for public or general consumption. But the SDI, selective of information, is a one that they know, that the library know that Mr. Case is dealing with, is currently working on uh, animal genetics. So they brought in 5 new books yesterday on animal genetics. They knew that those books will help Mr. Case uh, research. So they will call Mr. Case personally. These books are for you. They just arrived yesterday. Please come and check them. So based on, when you enter the library for the first time, you are going to create a user profile. You are going to have your own user record, so they'll know what this person has been working on. They have record. There is a record of every user in that library, so they know what you have been working on. So when any book of interest come in your that is related to your research, they select it for you and then call your attention. There is this book on your research. It is going to be helpful. So there is a question in TMA that used to say, what is the main difference between CAS and SDI? Now let me ask you guys now. I've explained the two. I've explained the two. An icebreaker now. What is the difference? The way they ask that question in TMA, you will answer it too. So don't worry. Don't be in a rush. We will soon start TMA. You will answer it. What is the main difference between CAS and SDI? I'm asking you guys now before we proceed. That is a classwork, yes? What is the main difference between CAS and SDI? Don't tell me the full meaning. I want the main difference. The main difference between CAS and SDI. Yes. What is the main difference between CAS and SDI? I don't know if it is network that is really disturbing people tonight. Your attendance is somehow, and even your responses are something else. Well, we'll soon finish the class. I promise that we will not be extending more than 10. It's always 9 to 10. Okay, but I'm waiting for you guys. What is the difference between CAS, Current Awareness Service, and Selective Dissemination of Information? Do we have people in this class, or I've been talking to myself? What is the difference? Okay, Dora says a bibliography. I think it was even Dora that gave me that definition earlier. You are somehow close, Dora. That makes sense. But one thing I want you to draw very well is that CAS is general, SDI is specific. That is the point I want you to hold. CAS is general. Anybody that enters the library can see that, oh, these are new books. Oh, these are new books, right? Even though they're just new books for general consumption, whether it is related to your research or not related to your research, these are new books, exhibition. So those one, CAS, general, current awareness service, general, selective dissemination of information, specific, which means service that is specific to one individual or one particular research. So that is it. And it's even only Dora that is answering me. The rest of you, you are just here for fun, no problem. So another thing the special or research libraries does is that provision of other supportive services such as provision of photocopying, printing and document delivery services. Since they are mainly used for research, if they are providing all these other type of services, somebody will not be surprised, because right there, when you are making some research, sometimes you need to print out some documents, you need to make some prototypes and the rest of them. They also offer those services. So you don't need to leave the library to go and do those things outside. Then we have interlibrary loans and network. Interlibrary loans and network are also provided by special libraries. Interlibrary loans and network are also provided by special libraries. For instance, somebody is working on something in our library, and our library is medical library. Then part of his research has to do with plant or animal to some degree, and we don't have any resource available that cover that. Then we will write to, or we'll go to an agriculture library to loan that material that will help our own client, you understand, to finish his research, or to improve the quality of information in his research. What happens there is that there is a kind of networking between the two libraries. It is now the library that will go to loan the book, or that will give out the book to another library that needs it at the moment. That one is interlibrary communication. It's not you, that the student, that, or the researcher. It's not you, the researcher, that will go to that library to loan it. It is library to library work. You may not even know how they got it, but they will provide it. So the last one is special libraries perform some other internal and external services, such as writing of periodic reports, e.g. monthly, quarterly or annual report. They also do organizing conferences. Sorry, they organize conferences, seminars, talks for users and outsiders. Those are means in which they try to sustain themselves. Don't forget that this type of libraries, they are mainly private. So they are supported by the money they make. That is why you see they are even doing some other services, like doing photocopying and the rest of them, and printing. That is because it is anything they make, that is how they will sustain themselves. So we've talked about 9 functions of the research or special libraries. We've also talked about academic libraries and about 6 functions of academic libraries. I hope you guys have not forgotten them. While we talk about 6 functions of academic libraries, we talked about 9 functions of the research or special libraries. I don't know if the network is really affecting a lot of people today. Okay, CAS is general, while SEI is specific, personalized and automated type of CAS. Okay. In fact, the chat box is so empty, so scanty. I don't know if we should even stop here. We should just stop here. You know, you've learned 2 types of libraries tonight and their functions, because the energy is so low. Okay, I think I know what's wrong. Maybe some of them are watching ball. It's like they say they have a ball tonight or so. No problem. Enjoy your match. Enjoy your ball. It's part of it. So, guys, we'll stop here tonight. We have done 2 types of libraries tonight. The academic libraries, the one we'll find in institutions like universities, polytechnic, and colleges of education. And we talked about the function of such type of libraries. Basically, they serve the information need of the institution they belong to and some other functions they serve. Then we discussed about research or special library. The first thing you learned under research or special library is that the research library is also called or is also known as special libraries. And you learned that they are private type of libraries, like they are privately owned, and they focus on only a single subject, area of subject, or some group of subjects. They only focus on one area of subject or some groups of subject. And we have example like CREAN, like IITA, like the uh, which other one did you mention? We mentioned quite a lot of them. NISAR, we mentioned NISAR, and so on and so forth. So don't forget the full meaning of those words, those libraries. Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, Nigerian Institution of Social and Economic Research, and so on and so forth. In the next class, you guys should be prepared. We'll start doing the practical part of this course. This course has practical. I'm not saying like practical like CIT 104, as in not just reading. We have to show you some website where you get resources from, where you can get resources, all the online websites that we have. There are a lot of them, and they listed most of them here in the material. So that is it. And we talked about functions of the special libraries or the research library. If you don't remember any other function, remember SDI and CAS, CAS and SDI. At least those two, because of how we dwelled on them and we did comparison between the two of them. You should not forget them. And you should know the one that is general, CAS, and the one that is specific, SDI, and the full meaning of the two, current awareness services and selective dissemination of information. So, having done that, I think we have come to the end of the class. Which of my class captain is available here tonight? Okay, I have Dora. So Dora, you take this homework. I believe you guys should have submitted last week, except if I did not give you assignment for Gst104 last week. If I do, or if I did, I think you guys should submit it today latest. It should be submitted by today. But if there is no, sorry, if there wasn't an assignment, let's take one. Okay, in this class. So they submit it to Dora before this day next week. So let's have number one. So Dora, please, you watch it. So, no, just a very short one. Are you sure I don't give you homework? I'm thinking I gave you homework about Tianyin Chimba. Oh, we're just discussing it in the group. No problem. So that is the homework. Just make sure everybody submit to you. You can rephrase it in a better way and drop it in the group for them. All right, guys. The rest of you too should go and enjoy the football. Do have a wonderful night rest. See you guys tomorrow.